Weather alert day here in the low country because we have some wintry weather on tap for the next couple of hours, and the satellite radar picture right now you can see is showing several colors that we don't typically see here in the low country.
What most people don't realize is storm surge is actually one of the deadliest parts of a hurricane. Extremely life-threatening situations going on across that area. And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water. But watch what happens. 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're seeing a wintry mix into North Florida. That's how far south these chilly temperatures dive. 12 plus inches of rain, and we have the potential to overtake that in just 3 days. What we have is a low pressure trough that will come into play, as well as a high pressure ridge out over the Atlantic. These are going to be the two steering features, anywhere from a trace to around 3 inches of snow for some parts of the low country. So it is going to be an interesting day. This morning, though, our temperatures are actually the coldest that we've seen so far this winter, but we have nice dry air, and dry air heats up very efficiently. But those bridges and overpasses, as we saw Friday morning, freeze a lot more efficiently, and that could be an issue even as you head home from those New Year's Eve celebrations. You know, Macy, I'm looking at this 7-day forecast, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have wind chill advisories issued almost every day of the next 7 days. So we may be talking about a weather alert for quite some time. It's not a hurricane anymore because now it's a post-tropical system.
But still has hurricane force winds.
Yeah, at this point, it's basically just lost its tropical properties. Yeah, a little more spring-like here for the next couple days, and we kind of do a little bit of a roller coaster with our temperatures.
And you're still working on the bridge run forecast, huh?
Yeah, go American model, go, because that's the one we want.
I came all the way from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and I thought I was going to get away from this weather.
I apologize for that.
Okay, I know it's your fault.
The chilly weather, the cold weather continues for us as kids getting ready to go back to school. It's brutal out there.
Yeah, it's very brutal. We may be in weather alert all the way through Sunday because of these chilly wind chills, just because the wind doesn't look like it's going to die down anytime soon, and we don't see temperatures overnight above the 20s all the way until Sunday morning.
Wow.
It's going to be cold.
So maybe they won't be going back to school this week.
It depends. It depends. I think a lot of it depends on what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
And then how cold it is
it's
for
Thursday,
the
right?
next couple of days.
It's spread out.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the current temperatures. At least they're not going back to school today because, well, it's just downright cold outside. Temperatures right now ranging from 20 degrees in King Street to 24 Mount Pleasant, Folly Beach, and Edisto Beach. That's the temperature reading. Then you factor in the wind, and this is what it feels like when you head out the door. It feels like the single digits in Monk's Corner, Georgetown, Pawleys Island, out back towards Orangeburg. It feels like 10 degrees in Goose Creek and Charleston. It feels like the low teens everywhere else. So it is very brutally cold outside, especially for us here in the low country, and we're just not going to warm up a whole lot even through the afternoon hours. Now, yesterday we hit a high of 34. Today we're looking at highs maybe a couple degrees warmer than that, but we're going to struggle, especially since we started so chilly this morning. We're looking at 35 this afternoon in King Street, 36 Walterboro and Pawleys Island, 37 on Sullivan's Island. That north wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour is going to keep it feeling more like the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. That's looking like some of the warmest wind chills we're going to see is right around 30 degrees, even during the warmest part of the afternoon. 37 Somerville, Isle of Palms, 36 for you in Georgetown and Monk's Corner. We do get a lot of sunshine today. That's the good news. Tonight, the cloud cover is going to increase ahead of this potential storm system, and wind chills are going to be back in the teens. I wouldn't be surprised to see a wind chill advisory issued for the coastal counties. Once again, it's a little harder to get a wind chill advisory inland just because the cutoff there is 10 degrees. I think it's going to feel a little warmer than that tomorrow morning, but you're still looking at temperatures solidly into the 20s, maybe even some teens up north of the lakes tomorrow morning. Right now, it's a quiet start to the day. We're not expecting any sort of precipitation today. Tomorrow is going to be the big day to watch, and it's because we're watching some of this moisture here off the coast of Florida. That potential is there that this is going to develop into a low pressure system. Now, the big question is where it tracks, and we're becoming more and more confident that it's going to get close enough to the South Carolina coast, at least close enough that we're going to see some sort of wintry precipitation here. So as we head into the day today, we stay nice and dry. The bulk of the moisture is still down to our south, but watch what happens 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're seeing a wintry mix into North Florida. That's how far south these chilly temperatures dive. Then moves up through southeast Georgia and heads for the low country of South Carolina as we head into the morning hours tomorrow. So our in-house model is indicating we could start to see some of this wintry precipitation as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's coming up from South Georgia. So we're watching the system lift up to the north. It's going to start down across Beaufort into Colleton County first and then move up the Charleston County coastline into parts of Berkeley, Dorchester, and Colleton County. You're seeing a change over to snow by 11 o'clock in the morning. And then we continue to see that snow line push towards the coast as we head through the day. It's kind of counterintuitive because you expect your temperatures to rise, but keep in mind the snowfall potential doesn't actually have anything to do, or it doesn't have exactly to do with surface temperatures. We're actually looking at more of what's going on throughout the column of air sitting above the earth to find out what kind of precipitation we're looking at. And that potential is there that we're going to see some snow mixing in out towards the coastline as we head even into the afternoon hours. 5 o'clock it starts to lift north of 26 and continues up the coastline through the PD. By 7 o'clock we should start to be seeing things die down, and then it does clear out Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So the potential impacts for Thursday morning are really going to be dependent on how much we end up getting out of this. And right now those snowfall totals are still a little on the rocky side as far as pinning down exactly what we're going to end up seeing, but we're looking right now at anywhere from a trace to maybe around 2 inches of wet snow. We're not talking about that dry powdery stuff. We're talking about heavy wet snow possibly falling through the day tomorrow. Temperatures only warming into the mid-30s tomorrow, and that actually may be a little warm. We may have to bring those temperatures, those high temperatures for tomorrow, down. Then Thursday we get a lot of sunshine in there. We do rebound into the low 40s, and we keep those low 40s for Friday and Saturday, but it's certainly still chilly with those overnight lows in the 20s. We finally start to see a little bit of a warm up as we look towards Monday. Yeah, a little bit of weather whiplash for you. Monday we're looking at highs back into the 60s.
So this evening actually looking like a pretty nice night if you want to head outside, grab dinner, maybe sit out on the porch. It's going to be a nice night to do that. So let's take a live look right now from our College of Charleston camera looking out towards the Holy City. And you can see we do have a few clouds. Majority of the cloud cover right now is along the coastline. Here's a look at your forecast for the rest of the evening. Coming up here at 7 o'clock, we're at 78 degrees, down to 73 at 9. We're at 64 as you wake up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and kick off your Monday. Again, mainly clear skies through the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are in the low 80s across the board. Not a bad night right now. 81 in Pawleys Island, Folly Beach, Monk's Corner. It is 82 currently in Somerville and Georgetown. 83 right now for you in Walterboro. We're headed for overnight lows in the 60s across the board. Even at the coastline, you're going to see overnight lows into the upper 60s. We could see a few upper 50s sprinkled in well inland and north of the lakes. Light and variable winds overnight tonight with mostly clear skies. Mainly sunny for your Monday. Should be a nice day. I think you can leave the umbrellas at home tomorrow. High of 88 in Walterboro, 83 in McClellanville tomorrow afternoon, 85 for you in Kingstree. We're looking at a high of 85 in Mount Pleasant and Monk's Corner, 82 at Edisto Beach and the Isle of Palms for your Monday. As we take a look at the satellite radar picture, it is a quiet night. Again, we do have some cloud cover moving in off the Atlantic at this point in time, but it's nothing that's going to inhibit any of your outdoor plans this evening. That stationary front finally starting to make a little bit of a move here. It's drifted back up to the north, although we do still have some showers offshore. What we're really paying attention to, though, as we head into the middle to later part of the week is Matthew. This is, of course, what everyone's talking about because we still don't know the specific impacts of Matthew on the southeast United States. What we have is a low pressure trough that will come into play as well as a high pressure ridge out over the Atlantic. These are going to be the two steering features, and which one wins out is where will help determine that track for Matthew. So at this point in time, once it gets into the Bahamas past about Wednesday, there's a lot of differentiation in the models at this point in time. Even with the track about 200 miles off the coastline, we could still see tropical storm force winds here in the low country. And that is because the tropical storm force winds even now extend out about 200 miles from the center of Matthew. As it continues to move up to the north, our in-house model does move it a little bit closer to the coastline. We still need to iron out whether or not that's actually going to verify at this point in time. So as you take a look at your 7-day forecast, what I can tell you is that once we
get to Thursday on into the early part of the weekend, those are really just placeholders at this point in time. Mostly sunny skies on Monday. What we are going to start to see on Tuesday and Wednesday is the breeze pick up, regardless of how close Matthew tracks. That's because high pressure to our north will sandwich us between Matthew moving up from the south. That tight pressure gradient is what's going to kick up those winds. So expect winds up around 20 miles per hour by the time we get into late Tuesday, and that continues into Wednesday, Thursday. At the very least, we are going to see minor issues along the coastline and some thunderstorms as well as some gusty winds. Our forecast for tomorrow, 85 degrees. Our current total for the month of September is $2,000 to the Charleston area senior citizen. The winds have been sustained, at least at tropical storm force, and we're getting these gusts that are definitely higher than those sustained winds. I'm not sure that I would call this all the way up to hurricane force at this point in time because I'm still able to stand relatively straight up and not necessarily being blown over. So I do still think it's below those tropical storm force wind gusts here in Mount Pleasant. But what we're getting is that combination of the wind and rain moving in right now. And you can hear the upper level winds humming at a good clip right now. So of course the upper level winds move a little bit faster than they do at the surface. At the surface you get some interference from the buildings, from the topography. But it's a pretty impressive situation happening in Mount Pleasant right here. And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water. So the last time I checked in with you guys, the water was about at my ankle level, and now it's risen, I would say, at least 3 to 4 inches up, a little bit further up my boot at this point in time. Not quite to the top of my boots, but it is definitely continuing to rise at this point. We have a combination of that rainfall, but we're also close enough to the Charleston Harbor that we're getting that storm surge, that inundation of water above ground level. Taking a look at your forecast for your Saturday, get out and enjoy it because this is the warmest we're going to be for at least the next 7 days, with highs this afternoon into the mid to upper 50s. This morning though, our temperatures are actually the coldest that we've seen so far this winter, but we have nice dry air, and dry air heats up very efficiently, which is why we're going to warm to those temperatures into the mid 50s. 34 degrees at 8 o'clock. We warm up quickly to 52 by noon, 56 at 4 o'clock, with plenty of sunshine as we head through the day ahead. It's really going to be a very nice wintry day here in the low country because we're going to head for some very bitter cold temperatures here over the next several days. It's nice and quiet across the southeast. We have a few clouds out there this morning, but I think those are going to go away by the time the sun comes up, and we've got all that sunshine on the way to help us enjoy these mild temperatures. Right now though, it's chilly, so you're going to want to bundle up if you're headed out and about early. It's 26 currently in Walterboro and in Moncks Corner, 28 for you right now in Kingstree, 30 in Georgetown and out at Charleston International, and it's even 36 on Folly Beach. The official coolest day that we've had out at Charleston International prior to this morning was 30 degrees. Earlier this morning we were actually at 27 out at the airport. So again, it is now the coldest morning we've had so far this winter, but not the coldest we're going to have. Temperatures this afternoon warming into the mid 50s, 55 Edisto Beach, Seabrook Island, 58 for you on Johns Island and in Somerville. You're looking at a high of 56 in Moncks Corner, 56 for you in Andrews and Kingstree, 57 in Georgetown, an afternoon high of 55 Isle of Palms, Folly Beach, and 57 for the afternoon high in North Charleston. Temperatures tonight, upper 30s at the coastline. Inland, you're going to be a little more mild than what you're seeing this morning, low to mid 30s. I do think some areas north of the lakes drop down below the freezing mark, but most of us will stay just above that freezing mark. But this again is going to be some of the warmest temperatures we have in your 7-day forecast that you're going to see here in just a moment. That air mass tracker shows that cold air diving south once again as we head into the day on Monday. Monday and Tuesday look like the coldest days in the 7-day period, with temperatures only in the mid to upper 30s. But notice that cold air is just persistent. We get another shot of it as we head into the day Friday and Saturday, and it's looking like it's not going to let up anytime in the near future. So for tomorrow, for New Year's Eve day, we get our temperatures dropping about 10 degrees to highs in the mid 40s. Then as you look towards New Year's Day, or I should focus on New Year's Eve night, if you're headed out and about as the ball is dropping here in the low country, you're going to see temperatures down into the low to mid 30s. Then Monday morning, you're waking up to temperatures in the mid 20s inland, upper 20s at the coastline. It's going to feel a lot more like the teens through most areas. Monday and Tuesday, those highs only in the mid to upper 30s. And Tuesday morning, is very interesting because we're going to see our temperatures drop down into the upper teens to low 20s inland. Wind chill is going to make it feel like the single digits in some areas. That is bitterly cold for us here in the low country. I am keeping a very close eye on Wednesday and Thursday still. Backed off to about 20%, but I still think we need to keep an eye on it. One of the models this morning is bringing back in a chance that we could see some precipitation that day. So we'll have to continue to monitor that over the next couple days so we get a better handle on the forecast there. Bottom line, Macy, it's going to be very cold.
Especially our area bridges and overpasses. That's what we're most concerned about this morning, where we could likely see some icy conditions as you head out the door. The good news is, of course, a lot of you don't have to head out the door this morning. Traffic has been pretty light all week, so that should work in our favor. But if you are going to be headed out and about, please be extra careful on the roadways. Give yourself some extra time to get where you're going this morning. That winter weather advisory goes until 9 o'clock because that's a point in time when we think temperatures are going to warm up enough to melt off anything that we could be seeing. The satellite radar picture here shows it's all mixed across the low country this morning. We're not seeing much in the way of straight liquid precipitation because the temperatures are just a little too cold. The radar is picking up on what could be a little bit of snow up around Murrells Inlet down 17 towards Georgetown. Now the radar this morning has been picking up on stuff that's not making it all the way to the ground. So just be aware that this could be painting a little more dire picture than what we're actually seeing at ground level. But certainly if you're seeing something in your neighborhood, we'd love to hear about it. As we take a look a little further off to the west around St. Stephen, as you travel 52 down towards Monk's Corner, this is a freezing rain, maybe mixed with a little bit of sleet there showing up on the radar. And then as you look a little further to the south, Somerville up towards Goose Creek, North Charleston into West Ashley, down towards James and Johns Island into Hollywood, back towards Walterboro. We've got that freezing rain falling. So that's rain that's falling as liquid. So most of you, if you're out and about driving, aren't going to notice it necessarily on your windshield. It's not going to be those ice pellets necessarily mixing in. It's going to look like liquid on your windshield. But then when you look down at the ground, you've got that icy glaze. And that's what we're most concerned about, is that some of these areas that some of you folks are going to be driving through this morning could be a little on the slick side, and it goes all the way actually down towards Seabrook Island, Edisto Beach, maybe even seeing a little bit of that freezing rain this morning. The Futurecast model shows that we're going to continue to see it probably for the next couple of hours, but by 6 o'clock it's pushing everything offshore. So the good news is this isn't a prolonged situation. We're not expecting this to go on through the majority of the morning hours. In fact, by the time we get to about 10, 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to start to get a little more sunshine back into the forecast, and we're going to warm up with those temperatures above the freezing mark for the afternoon with highs into the mid 40s.
It may not be over, at least for the parts of Charleston County.
Yeah, there's an area of freezing rain that's filling in southern Charleston County, lower Colleton County. That's got me a little concerned, just that we're going to see another round of freezing rain moving through the metro area, and that could lead to some of these issues relapsing once again. These things that we've ironed out and have kind of seen improvements in could actually start to go back downhill. Satellite radar picture shows you've got a wintry mix all the way from Georgetown and Williamsburg County down into Monk's Corner, into Somerville. It's hit and miss through Walterboro, but you notice how that area south of Charleston County is a little more solid than it has been over the last 30 minutes or so. That's pushing up the coastline, and it's going to move through the area. It's very light rain. We're not talking about a very heavy rain, but the temperatures are there for that rain once it makes contact with these surfaces, these cold surfaces, for it to freeze. And that's the definition of freezing rain. It's rain that falls all the way through a shallow pool of cool air right at the surface, and when it makes contact with the surface, it freezes.
Christine Kohler in here now to talk about the weather, and yeah, tomorrow's going to be a nice one, but it's going to get colder as the week progresses.
Yeah, we have some big changes in the forecast, but I prefer to focus on the good news.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You know, yeah, exactly. We've got a lot more sunshine on the way for the day tomorrow, and temperatures even a couple degrees warmer than what we had today, which today we topped out at 68 degrees. And that was my 3-degree forecast guarantee there. So that means we get another $100 in the bank from Glass Pro to Charleston Port and Seafarer Society, taking us up to $1,100 so far for the month. My 3-degree guarantee forecast for tomorrow, 73. I think inland we're going to see highs in the low 70s, at the coastline into the upper 60s. Although we'll start out on a chilly note, 46 at 7 a.m. under those clear skies, 54 at 9, 67 at noon, and 71 at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So here's a look at your current temperatures as you're headed to bed. Temperatures are ranging from the mid 40s in Kingstree and Georgetown to the mid 50s along the Charleston County County coastline. We're headed for those overnight lows inland in the low to mid 40s. At the coastline, you're waking up to temperatures into the upper 40s. So it's going to be maybe a degree or two cooler than what you even woke up to this morning. West wind at about 0 to 10 miles per hour overnight. And then tomorrow we're looking at a calm wind to start out with, but a southwest wind at about 5 to 15 miles per hour later into the day. Again, those temperatures warm up nicely tomorrow afternoon. 67 Sullivan's Island and Kiowa Island tomorrow. 71 for the afternoon high in Kingstree and in Pawleys Island, 73 in Goose Creek, 74 in Somerville, 71 in Georgetown, and 67 for the afternoon high on Folly Beach. So the big picture shows that we've got a lot of sunshine in the forecast as we head into the day tomorrow, but we're tracking our next cold front. It's out here over the plains, and it's going to move through the area as we head into the day on Thursday, and that's actually going to help to cool us down, as Brendan was just alluding to, as we look in towards the weekend. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. The next couple of days, not too bad temperature-wise. Even Thursday, we're looking at highs into the upper 60s, but we've got that cold front moving through, and it's going to bring that chance for rain mainly into the morning hours. So Futurecast model shows that line of showers moving through Thursday morning. It clears out by Thursday afternoon, but left in its wake is those cooler temperatures. So your forecast shows highs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be into the low to mid 50s, and at the beaches even you're looking at highs in the low to mid 50s as well. Overnight lows will be in the 30s, so it's going to be a much cooler as we look towards the weekend.